Hello guys. So remember that spring break TBR pile video that I did? Remember that?
Remember how there was like 11 books that I wanted to read in 11 days during my spring break because I thought, you know, I'm a loser, probably don't have any plans for spring break. I'd be home every day just lazing about and reading books all day. But yeah, that didn't work out very well. So what happened was, during the beginning of spring break, some relatives came to stay at our place, and I had no time to read because they had 3 kids, and the kids need to be entertained and watched, you know, it just happens. So they had to be entertained, and I didn't have time to read, and I didn't even get through half of the pile of books that I showed you guys, which is terrible, because by the time that the family left, they stayed about like 3 days, I think, and by the time they left, I was 3 books behind, and I got lazy, and I thought, hey, I can like read 3 books in a day, you know, there's no big deal. As long as I don't really do anything else, I'll finish it, you know, I can do this. But that didn't happen. But you know, I did read a few books, and that counts for something, right? I didn't get to catch up on my Goodreads goal. I think I'm still 8 books behind, but that's okay. Let's just give an honorable mention to the books that I didn't read, you know, just give them a little nod. The books that I didn't read. I'm sorry.
At the moment, I'm reading The Giver. I've only started the first page, I think. Yeah, only the first page. But I hope to finish this by this weekend, maybe.
Get to it because I'm supposed to be working this weekend and also finishing up my thesis. Yeah.
So let's just go over the books that I actually did end up reading. The Here and Now by Anne Brashares. I had high hopes for this book because it was about time traveling, and I love time traveling, and it was also about the environment. This is what the story is. So Prena is the main character. Her and her mom and a few people in her community are able to time travel back to our time period, and in the future there's this horrible plague that everyone is dying of. Prena and the rest of the people who travel back in time are immune to it, or they weren't infected, so they knew that the people there would die eventually of the plague in the future, so they came back in time to prevent this plague from happening. And I thought that was interesting, and the community that comes back have a set of rules that they need to live by, and one of the most important ones is to not fall in love, which is don't have any physical relationships or even emotional relationships with people who are in the right time. The time travelers from Prena's futuristic world are not allowed to be with anyone from this time period, and it's about her figuring out why they had to leave, what happened, why her dad didn't come with them, and there's also a love interest. And anyway, I liked this book. I was hoping more of it. Like, I was hoping more explanation, more in-depth, like, world building, but that didn't happen. And I don't think Prena and Ethan, the, you know, love interest, I didn't feel their chemistry. I felt their chemistry as friends. I didn't feel their chemistry as a couple. But I gave this book 3 stars. It was a good read. The second book that I read is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, and this was a short read, and it was a good one. I saw the movie already, and I read it before, so this was a reread. And I just imagined most of the movie while I was reading it with all the characters and actors. But I liked it. I gave it 4 stars, or 4.5 stars. I liked it. I want to read the rest of the series. The third book that I read is How to Get Filthy Rich in Rising Asia by Mohsin Hamid. So, this one I gave 3 stars. It was a second-person narrative, I believe, yes, because the author kept saying, you did this, or this happened to you, like, whenever something was going on in the book. So anyway, this was supposed to be like a how-to kind of book, but not really, because there's a story involved, and the character story is your story. That's how you're supposed to feel, like you're the character, I think, during this. And I think this portrays underdeveloped countries very well, or like the Southeast Asia culture very well. I feel kind of indifferent about it. Is that okay for me to feel that way? Anyway, the last book that I read from my spring TBR pile was The Vampire Stalker by Alison Van Dypen. So I love this book. I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. It was very interesting. So the main character is a fangirl, and the book that she loves is about this vampire hunter kind of guy, and he's been chasing down this really powerful royal vampire for all of his life after his parents were killed by this vampire, and he nearly escaped the vampire's clutches when he was younger. So that's what the story is about, the book that the main character is reading. The main character is Amy, and the vampire hunter is Alexander Banks. So Amy is in love with the character in the book, and we start off with Amy getting the second book. I keep looking that way, so bad. So we start off with Amy getting the second book in the series about the vampire hunter, and basically the story's about it's about how Alexander Banks kind of comes into the real world somehow from this fictional story world, and it's about them figuring out how that happened, why it happened, and about Amy trying to get Alexander back into his world so he can finish his story with the vampire, the royal vampire who's like killing everyone in the story. Anyway, I really liked this because I liked Amy's voice. I liked her character. She wasn't like a helpless heroine or anything like that. She was there, like, on par. You know why else I like this book? It kind of reminded me of Vampire Academy, of Dimitri and Rose's relationship. So that's another reason why I think I really like this, because I love that series. And yeah, so this was a good book.
4 out of 11 books. I know I could have done way better if I really tried, but I think at the end of the break, I kind of just wanted to relax and watch TV. I mean, I ended up watching Bates Motel, and what else did I watch? I watched Bates Motel and started rewatching Supernatural with my sister, and yeah, I mean, I could have done better. So out of the 4 books that I read, I would definitely recommend that you guys read this, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and The Vampire Stalker, because these got 4 stars from me. So, yay! Okay, bye! And thank you for watching, and subscribe. Bye!